certain thing we cannot do. The reason I'm here to be here tonight is due to, I've been issued summons, I've been harassed, and I've been dragged to court, I've been threatened by Mr. Carignano. When I approached Mr. Carignano and I asked him if there was any public complaint, he replied that there wasn't. I asked for the paper to see who made the complaint, and I quoted it, I have a letter, I quoted Mr. Carignano was Mr. Venezia, the mayor. I explained to Mr. Carignano that I have contributed to about $90,000+ in taxes, and I don't live on my property yet because there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of. And I would like to bring to everyone's attention that I told Mr. Carignano that he's harassing me and he's threatening me. I also told him when he came to my property, uninvited, he passed a property with more merchandise and stuff that I had. He responded, that was not my business. And I respond, I know because the gentleman is a friend with Mr. Venezia. It's my truly belief that what I am doing on my property is not illegal and I don't bother anyone. My property was a motorcycle place at one time, there's a chicken farm, there's t-shirt place, and many, many other things. I took about 3-4 buildings that on my property full of stuff. I've been doing as best as I can. First of all, there's no visual from the street. I don't bother everyone. I enjoy what I'm doing on my own property, which I purchased with my hard work. I make a way to pay my tax. Also, what I don't understand, what's going on in this country? Don't politics see what's going on? There's more crime. There's more people going to see a psychology. There's more pressure. There's more tax. There's more people on substance. There's no. I thought on our own property should be a sanctuary. That's where a place where we should feel safe and protected. But it don't seem that way. Okay. Also, to look at the statistics, there's a huge increase in drug users, alcoholism, and homeless, and more and more and more and more. Anyway, unfortunately, everyone is different. Some people will take more pressure, some people take less pressure. That's why there's so much shooting, that's why there's people snap. I want to be clear. I've been doing this all my life, and I enjoy it. Besides, because I paid my tax with it, I put food on the table, and as I explained to Mr. Carignano, I have a child with autism. When I get upset, my son somehow he senses that, and he throws a tantrum. And I hope nothing happened to him, because otherwise I'm going to have to sue the township. I also told him that my brother-in-law, my nephew, I got family in the FBI, they lawyer, don't cost me nothing. If I have to, I'll take it to the county, I'll take it to the state, to the jury, to the 10th panel judge, all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. Okay, we still have a freedom of speech, I hope, in this country, freedom of expression, freedom of. Because I already have many people on board that will contribute to make billboard on my property, which I own on Route 50, to address the issue. Again, let me finish with the statement. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't drink, don't smoke, never touch any illegal substance. I haven't received a summons in the past 50+ years until now. I want to thank everybody, to give me an opportunity to express myself, and hopefully we'll be able to solve this matter amicably. Thank you.
Anyone else in the public? Well, I'd like to address Mr. Barada's comments, if I may. It would be incomplete for me not to. He and I have spoken about this, correct, Mr. Barada?
Yes, sir.
We-
Yes, sir.
We discussed this some weeks ago,
Correct.
at the suggestion of the zoning office.
Yes, sir.
And you said many of the same things that you've said tonight.
Correct. Yeah.
And I tried to remind you that the current condition of your property is in violation of our maintenance ordinances. And that despite the fact that a lot of the things that are there were there since before you bought the place,
Correct.
when you bought the place, you bought it all.
Correct.
Okay. And you agreed that you would continue to make progress getting rid of things until you got rid of so much stuff that you come into compliance. And I suggested that in the meantime, you would take photographs before and after of the things that you're moving off so that you can prove that you're making progress. And so long as progress continues to be made, I don't have any sway over the zoning officer. I can't instruct him to leave you alone or to go after you. Neither one. And neither could the mayor, frankly. But my sense is, so long as you continue to make progress, getting rid of the stuff that's there, that shouldn't be there, that's in violation of the law, the city will hopefully continue to give you more time to get it done. At the end of the day, that's really all that matters to us, is that you're trying to come into compliance with the ordinance.
My
Are
word.
you trying to come into compliance?
Yes, sir, I do.
Please continue to do that.
Yes, appreciate that. Thank you for your time.
And sir, I will tell you on record, I have never instructed our zoning officer to come after you. I received a complaint and I says, hey, is the man in violation or not? I mean, when you ride by visibly, you can see you had a building that was falling down. You inherited that, I get it, but still, it is in violation. It does need to be cleaned up. I am not aware that the zoning officer has been harassing you or threatening you or any of the above that you said. You shouldn't be doing that if that is happening, but nonetheless, I have not instructed anybody to come after you. I have not instructed anybody to issue a summons. That is a criminal matter. There's no member of the city council at any time that could ever tell our zoning officer, I want you to give that guy a ticket. That is a criminal matter, and I certainly have not partaken in that. I just want to make that very clear. The zoning officer is autonomous. He makes the decisions of what he does based upon his observations. And if he's not satisfied with what he's seeing, he will write notices. And I know that I have seen in zoning office reports for at least close to 2 years before he finally got to the summons level of wanting to give you a summons. So, I mean, you have been given some time, as Mr. Dilge indicated. If you're going to continue with progress, you're not going to get any issue from the city. Okay?
Thank you.
And by the way, I did let you speak. You've never been to a meeting before.
No.
But what I'm trying to do is, this first session is strictly for the agenda items only.
Okay, so if I want to speak again, I have to make
You could say something, when the meeting is open to the public again after we get to our agenda. But right now, the meeting is open to the public strictly for an agenda item only.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Agenda item.
Vote.
Since Mr. Henry, I guess, is here this evening, and I don't know if it'll be open to the public at that point for any questions for our GIF coverage, but if he could let us know what the loss ratio is, loss ratio being the amount we paid in premiums versus how much they've had to pay out on our behalf for the last 3 or so years, that may be illuminating, and if what we need to do in order to improve that loss ratio. That may wind up being helpful for all of us. The fourth, well, I find it strange that ordinance 4 is on the agenda as a first reading, so I guess that's why it's first rather than a public hearing on the one you already introduced. But it seems strange that last month there was a rather in-depth discussion. A strong majority of council went one direction with a rather vocal opposition. But now resources have been used in order to prepare an ordinance totally opposite of the one that the majority of council had done, had suggested, had introduced. If, in fact, anyone who's a member of the five of you have any hopes, interests, desires, aspirations, dreams, fill out your thesaurus however you want for that one, of being able to do cannabis cultivation or something else, then perhaps that should also be disclosed. Otherwise, I'm trying to figure out how we go from one being done, in essence, 4-1, and then the totally opposite one being introduced. That doesn't mean that the ordinance that's in front of you tonight for public hearing and reading may not need an amendment as far as grandfathering in existing situations in our community, but that's a whole other discussion we can get to in a few minutes. And I'm guessing the stuff with new business, rather than trying to ask what each of those are now, there'll be some illuminating discussion so we have some idea of what's going on with that. So with that, thank you all very much.
Anyone else in the public?
Oh, no.
If you're talking about the ordinance, do that. Go to the ordinance.
Just kidding.
Sorry, I just don't know when to speak or not to speak. We're getting
Is there anyone
some.
else in the public who would like to speak? Sir, you had something you want to say?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if right now is the right time to talk about it, but I guess I will go through it. Hello, City Council and members and Mayor. My name is Ramsey Banny. I've been a farmer for 19 years and in the agriculture for the industry for the same time. Worked locally and internationally, producing tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and now I've gotten into the cannabis industry. I'm a local member to Estell Manor. We purchased the Clemenson farm with my family and business partners. We prepared a statement and we'd like to share kind of our voice and our opinion on what's going on and like to get the opportunity to apply for a THC license when they come about. Together we own a farm called Estell. It's under the name Cannabis Trading Co. We are here today to really support our opportunity as an active hemp farm to get to apply for one of the recreational licenses. We know that a lot of people have like a standpoint against this and a fear that it will get to the youth and fear that it will, disrupt the local organization here in terms of like a society. I would like to voice my opinion that, through my experience, we have not seen an increase of crime around cannabis cultivations. Most of them are outcut into different areas that aren't as prevalent, right up to the main community. We know that it could bring a lot of key economic benefits to the local township and ourselves in terms of the society that lives here. We understand that there's a lot of large concerns in terms of teen youth, and we know that there's in real facts that show against teen use. The Journal of JAMA, J-A-M-A Pediatrics, claims that the laws that legalize and regulate the consumption of recreational cannabis caused a decrease in teen use. Predominantly, that's because it eliminates the access to cannabis in a local community. By making it available in dispensaries and cultivated legally, you take a lot of business out of the black market. I am about to be a father myself. We have a baby coming in September. We live locally right here. We bought, as I said, the Clemenson farm. We don't plan on moving from there. So I wouldn't welcome a business that's going to create crime right where I live. Just to put perspective into kind of how I associate the cultivation of cannabis with living. I don't see it any different than any other crop. Our goal is to build a beautiful greenhouse on the property that would house all of this. So it'd be in a secure situation and it'd be aesthetically pleasing. Not only that, but it could also be used as a reference of knowledge for other farmers that are looking to operate. I am world recognized for the introduction of substrate sensors into the agriculture industry. We use water content and EC sensors that help measure and accurately account for when you're supposed to feed your plants. It's technology that I've been bringing across the United States actively right now. And I know that through incorporating that will help with the economy here that's mostly based around farming from what I've seen. There's other studies in Canada that looked at the recreational cannabis and what it's done to the use of teens. And it basically was comparable with what they're finding in California as well, that they're not seeing an increase in teen use. A lot of it's being more educated, as they brought this about and show people what is actually happening. You know, you have an opportunity to teach your kids that it's like alcohol, that, you know, you get to enjoy it as you get to be of age. So a lot of our viewpoint is based around the fact that, you know, by making this a controlled substance, making this accessible to adults, and taking it out of the black market's hands, we will effectively promote good business instead of bad business. And you know, a lot of what we've tried to do in terms of our company here is represent the local town. You know, we use actually the name Estell as our brand, which a lot of people are catching on to and really seeing as a beautiful thing to this area. You know, I've gotten to meet a lot of local residents, and so far I've gotten huge support for us in what we're doing with our hemp company. And I believe that, you know, with the right opportunity for us to expand into the THC market, we'll keep bringing really great response and brands to everybody here, and opportunity for jobs. My business partner Cameron has a few things that he would like to say as well, so I'd like to let him talk about a few of the other facts too.
Hi everyone, my name is Cameron.
Excuse me for a second.
Yes.
Mr. Dilge, they are here to speak about the agenda, and quite frankly, I have something on the agenda here, that's why I asked them to come here to speak, because we may be voting differently after all.
Mayor, no one has said anything about the agenda so far. I've heard a lot of language about an individual's desire to have a license. I haven't heard anything about our ordinance in particular.
Mr. Dilge, they're speaking on behalf of what we have, it's on our agenda. Okay?
2 minutes?
Mr. Cameron, you sent me an email, which I'm gonna send it over to the, who's Cameron?
I'm Cameron.
Okay, if you sent an email, I would appreciate if you would in fact read that email out. I will give it to the city clerk later tonight. You had sent it to me yesterday, I read it, and I read it with great interest. I think you should read that in its entirety.
Yep, I have most of it written right here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for giving me the time to speak here. My name is Cameron. So first and foremost, in terms of employment capacity, we plan on building a 30,000 square foot greenhouse facility. This facility will be able to employ upwards of 75 employees once it's fully operational. Our goal basically is to strictly hire local residents who will receive full-time salaries and benefits. Moreover, local businesses and service providers stand to benefit from project construction and material needs in the near future. The property that we have will be run and function no different than any other strictly compliant agricultural farm, similar to tomatoes, corn, blueberries, you know, just to name a few staples that have really brought, you know, fame and good fortune to this beautiful garden state. You know, our facility will also be fully secured. It will have a guard on site 24/7. You know, and secondly, the second thing I wanted to address tonight is the tax benefits that will be made available to the city of Estell Manor. So we understand that the city has been in a tough position over the past decade, especially with you know, the state of New Jersey owning more than 60% of the land in the city of Estell Manor. And we know that this is land that the city cannot collect tax on. With our plan, you know, 30,000 square foot greenhouse facility, we know this struggle is going to be substantially alleviated and even eliminated in roughly 1 to 2 years through the 2% tax on gross receipts for cannabis businesses. So our facility is projected to generate approximately $50 million per year in revenue. This will allow the city of Estell Manor to collect $1 million per year in this cannabis tax. And that's $1 million in direct revenue directly to the city of Estell. It should be noted that this does not include any taxes on the building improvements or any subsequent cannabis businesses that operate within the city limits here. I would like to conclude here, and then I know Jason also has a statement to give as well.
If there's time permitted, I would very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Jason Giuliano, and I'm one of the partners here. And I think it's important for everyone here to understand who this group is and how we came together.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I went on your website and I looked at, personally, I didn't like the fact they put that you're in Estell Manor to bring it forward that, hey, we're here in Estell Manor. Second of all, there was a picture of you that said, oh, he came to visit us today. You're from California or something?
I live right here on the farm.
That's what I said, are you all living there? All of you?
We live
Me
on
and my
the
wife
farm.
live on the farm.
Because there is a picture of you on the site that says that you came to visit for the day.
We moved from
We
California.
moved from California, so when that original picture, when that original picture was taken was when I first was moving across. We've actually physically been living here for a full year now.
But I personally didn't like the fact that you did put Estell as one of your substances, because I really don't want to publicize that we're here in Estell Manor with a cannabis farm.
I mean, the reason why we did that
The name
was,
to me, Estell, how it got here to be Estell Manor, I think it kind of takes away from that, from our hometown, what Estell meant. It was a person, it was a name, it was a woman. You know, I don't think she would like it to have a plant named after her, that's cannabis. Maybe she would, maybe she liked cannabis, I don't know. But that's just my opinion.
so I took inspiration from Lagunitas. It's a beer company, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No.
But when they were searching for the name of what they should call their company, they said, why don't we give thanks to the area that allowed us to operate as a business? As I
Maybe
said,
could have went to Manor or something, but,
Well-
I mean, Estelle was a woman's name.
yeah, and I think that the cannabis plant being a female plant, I think it's a beautiful way of associating some of that. I understand, I mean, everybody has like differences of opinion, but I really would love to show you that we plan to bring pride and beauty to what this is. You know, the opportunity to operate here as a business, it's been a blessing. You know, I've spent my whole life farming. You know, I literally am out there all day long, 13 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ask Arnold or Chris, they come over regularly to visit the farm and say how beautiful and happy they are with what we've been able to do with it. We meet our neighbors, Jim and everybody else, Judy, all our neighbors come by. You know, we try and bring pride to what it is, and our goal here was to create a business and an industry that represents farming. You know, like I said, I worked in tomato farms, cucumber farms here in the United States, Canada, and the Netherlands and Mexico. And, you know, I've only wanted the opportunity to farm in my life. You know, the unique opportunity that we have right now is one like no other. Farmers were broke. You know, I literally, like, I can't tell you how many times I've struggled to pay bills and do anything in life. You know, traveling to Canada and working out in Leamington, Ontario, because that's where they have greenhouse production. You know, and I'm getting the opportunity here to create a business where there was nothing. You know, there really is a dying industry in this area locally. Most of the farmers that I've met are struggling here. They're not thriving. So in this opportunity, we're creating something that I could go and teach any individual around here how to farm and how to produce and how to increase their profitability even with what they're currently doing.
There's a lot of locals here that know how to grow.
I know there is, and I've met a lot
I
of
think
great
we might be able to
farmers.
teach you something about.
Well, there's a lot of really great farmers that we've met here that I really think are beautiful people, and there is a lot that I get to learn from each and every single one of them. You know, I think that what we're trying to do is create an additional opportunity for people to thrive. You know, like adding the technologies that I've come across in my life are enhancing farmers' capabilities across the nation right now.
But there is a smell that continues from it, because as you say, I go to a dispensary,
Mm-hmm.
and I go there some days, and it's
I
like,
understand that
Whoa.
responsible taxpayers are going
The
to want
smell.
equal time for a
And I got
counter
my
argument.
school
This
right
could
here.
go on
Yeah.
all
you're
night
right
long.
there, you're right there.
Do you smell it currently right now?
I don't currently smell hemp or anything right now, but I know when I go to
You
the
open-
one
this
in
is
Egg
you.
Harbor, I say, whoa, what's
This is
going
your
on today?
scripted
Was
deal,
somebody
this is your
burning?
production.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I would love for you to come by just as a
I
side
did
person.
ride
and
by,
know.
and we went, my friend and I
This
rode
is
by,
not
and
gonna
I
help your
mean, I hope
reelection.
too, that your security would change too,
I'm
because
not running for
you had
reelection.
gates open to go there, you could get in from the campground.
Okay.
Well, there's nothing really as valuable
Not everybody.
to steal right now.
We
You
don't
know,
get
like,
free
Right, but I mean,
equal. Some
it
people
doesn't
can
look
talk
good
a
right
lot,
now to say
or
you
you
have
give the
cannabis when I
opportunity
go right up to the gate.
the problem is right now, the value of what it is.
Said private property, it's the only thing that's not, yeah.
Excuse me. Cameron was speaking, he was interrupted, and then this meeting is getting out of order. Cameron's got 5
Oh,
minutes.
somebody other than the people you
Cameron,
prepared are
excuse me?
speaking?
Joe, can I say, Mr. Mayor?
How much
I
did the
also
mayor
know
help
too-
you prepare, Mr. Dick?
Yes, how much did he help
I
you?
wrote everything.
How much did the mayor help you prepare? Your
The
statistics
mayor
about how
told-
much the state owns of Estell Manor, where did you get that
That
statistic?
the
He
mayor.
asked
The
me.
mayor.
Yeah, the
So
mayor.
how much time did you spend preparing it, Mayor?
Not much at all, Mr. Dill.
Yeah, no.
None
Can I
whatsoever.
ask you something too? How many times
Do you want this meeting to be open to the public, or is this gonna be open to the
I
council?
say, I don't care, but what I'm saying is you always stop Creed at 3 minutes. I haven't seen you stop anybody yet.
This is the
You
first time.
bang, bang, bang,
these-
Mr. Creed Pogue, you're over your 3
This is
minutes.
the first time these people have ever come here. They're talking
Oh,
about $1 million of what we could receive in
and
revenue.
then do you have police
But you can't
officers
treat
and police
them any different.
stations
I'm not treating
in here?
anybody
Yeah.
any differently,
There are other
but this is
places
such a
that have
horrible
police
idea.
stations
What's
in your
your
town.
idea for $1
Yes.
million?
We don't have that here.
There's no $1 million.
We don't, I
coming, Joe.
mean, we don't
Come on,
have streets
stop
come
it.
by though.
You don't know.
Stop it.
Nelson,
We
you
don't
know
have
that.
that
Why don't you have to put up a
We're a
bond
small
then? Put up
town.
$1 million bond.
Maybe it would.
I have,
What about Brown Water?
Maybe they
Stop.
would.
so we actually
Well-
recirculate our water when we get the
The
opportunity.
meeting is
to.
now, Mr. Cameron, you have something you wanted to say?
3 minutes.
No,
Hey, I'd be willing to put $1 million bond up.
Yeah, I would too.
How's that?
That's how confident we are. And what I was trying to say, and I do apologize, I think you're getting hemp and cannabis confused with
I
the
know
name
you're
of Estell. But again, I wanted to just describe who this group of people are and what they've accomplished. So last year during probably one of the worst experiences we've all lived through, right, a
Right.
pandemic, we got together with full-time jobs, I might add, and we built 15,000 square feet of greenhouse and produced a crop. And it wasn't just any crop. It was a very high-level crop. And we got the notice of the Secretary of Agriculture here in the state of New Jersey. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know anybody. I was coming out working at night and on the weekends when I had my time. So it proves a number of things. When you have the right group and the right initiative and the right heart and the right goal, anything is possible. So I truly believe that we have something magic here. And I believe, and I can continue to go and tell you what interests me. Ramsey, he touched on it. I am a doctor. However, I run a technology company. I'm involved in substrate sensors. And my interest originally was to use this farm as a case study to then help farmers all across the country decrease their costs and increase their yield. And so that's what we're showing. So that was the first thing that actually got me interested. The second thing that got me interested was my brother sitting right to my right. 3 years ago, on the 29th of September, will be the anniversary of when he was in a near-fatal car accident. Tree versus car, he was a passenger. He was given less than a 5% chance of survival with the brain injury that he had. He was in the ICU for 2 weeks. When I spoke to his physicians, and they said that there's less than 5% chance that he's going to survive. Whether he's going to be a functional adult again, probably less than that. So we discussed, and I started to read. And I started to look outside of traditional medicine into things like endocannabinoid receptors on nerve cells. That was interesting to me. So I discussed with his team of physicians, would it be possible to supplement him and see if it works? Well, he's got, what, 1 surgery left? And you'll be God willing, 1 surgery left, it'll be number 5. And after that, he's gonna be going back to work full-time as vice president of an electronics company. So, to me, I was sold on both the medicine part and the technology part right away. And then to meet such a great group of people, and some of my family members, and some we grew up together, and see the work ethic that I think sometimes lacks in our youth today, is quite impressive. So what this group did was nothing short of a miracle over the pandemic, including the hurricane that almost took down the one greenhouse nursery that we had. But I would like to invite everyone here to come out to the farm, see the farm, understand what we've done, understand what we're about. Right now, there's not that much security because hemp is not a valuable product. And that's the reason. It's used to produce CBD. In its raw form, it does nothing really for anyone. So that's the reason there's no security at the farm now. As soon as there's a product there that needs security, there will be plenty of security. I can guarantee that. In fact, that's part of the law. There's no way around it. And I think the last thing that I would like to add, there's 2 more things I would like to cover. One more thing would be, what are your objections?
Near the school, the smell.
Now's not the time for us to do
The
that.
well.
Yeah, we heard the water turns brown when you're growing, is doing this stuff.
That we,
From
Our
what?
well. We have
Our well, we have well water.
okay, yeah.
we've heard it turns brown.
No.
No, I
The
don't.
only time your well water is gonna turn brown is if somebody's depleting the water sources to
Yeah,
the
it's
pipeline.
still-
We got coffee and cookies with this open house, or is it just?
And then I guess that, the last thing I would say, since, I would be very interested to hear, all the objections and be able to address them. But I think the last thing is, I was very fortunate in my life. I've traveled a lot, and 2 times I sat with 2 very successful people. And I got to know them in a social setting. And I got to know, and I felt confident enough to ask them questions. Because I think they were just like everybody here, just like us, just like Ramsey.
Sir, if you could.
I didn't
wrap this up.
understand, right?
Wrap it up.
Absolutely. And my question to him was, how come you got so rich and all these other people so smart didn't? And he looked at me both times, both different individuals, and said, timing. And that's it, there's no secret.